And welcome back to another episode of Overtime. I'm your host. I just told you that. What's going on, guys? We are back again. It is episode 5. Man, the weeks are going by faster and faster. I do apologize for the late upload. I try to usually upload Tuesdays and Wednesdays. But we had a lot to unpack. There was a lot of news that I had to cover, a lot of headlines I had to get done. I just wanted to make sure I packed everything that I needed to say into this episode. But before I get started, I want to give a special shout out to my football team, the Swarm football team in St. Joe. They are going up to Minnesota on Sunday or Saturday, Sunday. They're going to be playing on Sunday at the U.S. Bank Arena. I forgot what team we're playing, but I wholeheartedly wish I could be there with them. Unfortunately, due to financials, my new job, and due to a slight injury to my leg and my back, I won't be able to make it this season to play this last game with them. But I am hard at training. I want to give a special shout out to Coach Jay. He's been a very wonderful asset to my life and to football and to helping me grow as a football player and as a eventual coach as well, because what he does a lot. He's a special guy, and I'm glad that I recently met him, but I'm glad that I did because Coach Jay is awesome, and I'm glad I met my team. My team is great. The guys that we stuck it out. We went through a rough patch this year. The season was rough for us, but I couldn't have asked for a better group of guys that held it together as much as we did. And I can't wait to play again next season and come back stronger. But without further ado, let's jump right into it. So we have our Week 3 recap. Week 3 has been weird. Week 3 has been one of the weirdest weeks I've seen in football in recent history, recent years that I've watched, that I've played. I don't know. You guys got to tell me, what did you guys see? Because I saw a lot of lopsided games. Last Thursday, we saw the Giants play the 49ers. The Giants lost. The Giants, it is what it is. The 49ers is good. The Giants are bad. We had the Lions beat the Falcons. We had the Vikings losing to the Chargers. I had Vikings winning that game. Chargers are, they're starting lower than expected, but like I said, I got to redo my Week 5 lineups. So I can't wait for after Week 5 into that. So I got to redo that. But right now, the Chargers won that game, so good job, Chargers. Saints losing to the Packers in a comeback win. Wow, I had the Saints really taking that. Derek Carr got injured, but I hope he's okay. I hope he's doing good. And with that being said, the Packers come back. Jordan Love, he's that guy. He's their guy. He's going to be their guy for a couple years now. So just get ready for it. Another game that I did not expect this. I had the Jaguars winning this. The Texans beating the Jaguars in such a fashion. I thought I was seeing something. I don't know. I saw something completely crazy. CJ Stroud is a very good player. CJ Stroud is what that the Texans offense have needed for a while, and I think they're pulling it together. They're going to be a decent team. You have the Broncos losing to the Dolphins, but not just losing to the Dolphins, getting blown out to the Dolphins in proportional standards. No team since 1966 has dropped 70 points on another team, and for the Broncos to allow that, it shows two things: the Broncos are bad, the Dolphins are good. That's the only two explanations for it, and there's no. I will not take any Dolphin slander, but I will take plenty of Broncos slander because what the hell. The Titans losing to the Browns, saw that coming. Commanders getting blown out by the Bills, saw that coming too. We got the Colts beating the Ravens by 3, didn't see that coming at all. I really had the Ravens winning that, but the Colts pulled out that win. Patriots taking on the Jets. Patriots took that division win. Good job, Patriots. Panthers losing to the Seahawks, saw that coming. Chiefs versus Bears. I saw the win coming, didn't know it was going to be a blowout. Then we have the Cardinals beating the Cowboys If you had that on your bucket list, wow, you're crazy. I didn't have that. I had the Cowboys absolutely winning that. I don't know if it's because Trayvon Diggs, if the defense is dropping. I hope Trayvon Diggs makes a speedy recovery. I know he's a big part of the defense, but I don't know. It just felt like the Cardinals was carving up the defense last week. I don't know what was going on, but I didn't expect the Cardinals to actually win that game, and they did. At the beginning of the season, I had the Cardinals tanking, but it seems like some other teams might be doing that. I don't know. Then you have the Steelers beating the Raiders, saw it coming. Had the Eagles beating the Buccaneers, saw it coming. And then had the Rams beating the Bengals. Saw it coming, but I would thought it would be by a bigger proportion. I don't know. Like I don't know for the Bengals' sakes. I don't know what's going on there, but they got the win, and that's all that matters, right? So we're gonna jump right into some of the news and some of the things that I want to talk about, what's going on in the NFL and stuff like that, real quick. I'm gonna skip the statistics today. We'll do that for the next video, but right now, this is what I do want to say. I want to say this. Let's start off with the Jets and the Bears are in a quarterback situation where it's time to make a decision for the quarterbacks. Here's what I have to say. I don't blame the Jets and the Bears situations on their quarterbacks necessarily. I think Zach Wilson is a decent quarterback, and I think Justin Fields is a decent quarterback as well. I just think they're in the wrong systems. I wholeheartedly believe, if you traded Zach Wilson and Justin Fields to each other's team, so Justin Fields goes to the Jets, Zach Wilson goes to the Bears, I think each team will get a monumental boost in productivity from their quarterbacks. The Jets' defense is good enough to get you to the playoffs. You just need a decent offense, but it's not even about being decent. You have the pieces to be a good offense. That's the whole thing. You have the receivers. You have the running back room. The Jets have everything except the quarterback now. Because with no Aaron Rodgers, you don't have the team to really do what you wanted to do when you had them and you was thinking like long term. Because that's the problem I believe would happen with the Jets. They thought long term. They thought that, hey, this is going to be our guy for about a good 2 years, and then we go get another one, whatever. We might win a ring with them. We don't know. That went out the window 75 seconds into your first game. That went out the window. Now you have to think, okay, how do we stay relevant to the situation? And by doing that, what happens now? Well, now that's your thing. You have to decide. And I think the Jets and the Bears both have a decision to make by week 8. Are they going to trade for quarterbacks? Are they going to get another quarterback? Are they going to sign another quarterback? I know I believe the Jets signed Trevor Siemian as a backup to Zach Wilson. What? Like who? Okay, whatever. But I don't know. I think that trade should be made. That trade is an even trade for both sides. You're not losing, you're not gaining anything. But you did everything that you need to do. The Jets did everything they needed to do, and the Bears did everything they needed to do in the offseason to make it to where their quarterbacks could be decent, to be good. And the quarterback rooms is still, excuse my language, but shitting the bucket. But then again, I don't know. I can't all blame it on them. I think the coaching staff is also, the coaching staff is really limiting the run game as far as Justin Fields for the Bears. They're really limiting what he can do because he can run the ball. If you need him to run the ball, if he can't see the read, then make him run it. He'll get you the yards. Zach Wilson, I think instead of overly running the game, because that's why Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook is not going to last well into the season if you keep just running the ball, let him throw some shorter passes. Have the receivers get separation and see what that happens. If you're not going to do the trade, then at least do that. That's all I can say on that part. Moving on, I think Caleb Williams, I understand. Like everyone thinks, like some people think he should stay in college because whoever he's going to go into a bad coaching situation, depending on who the number one pick is. And some people think, oh, he's going to be missing out on a whole bunch of money. He needs to get in. He needs to get in the NFL. Doesn't matter who the coaches is. He's a good player. He'll, I don't. I think that notion, that second notion, I don't believe it. I think my belief is that the NFL needs to adopt the lottery system that the NBA has. Adopt it. Don't let the team that's gonna tank the season get the number one pick. That's not fair to that. First of all, it's not fair to the players that they're gonna pick, because depending on how you look at it, majority of the time when a team tanks, they get the number one pick. They also get the number one. They get the second round first pick, third round first pick. Whatever that may be. They get within the top 5 picks of the NFL drafts. So those top 5 players within that first round is going to a shitty organization. So that's why it's very important. And what I'm saying is that the lottery is a very important thing. Because think about it like this. Imagine this. Imagine the bottom 10 teams, or you know what? You could do it like this. There's 8 divisions. So the bottom 8 teams, each team at the bottom of their division gets the lottery picks. They get the lottery picks. Whoever wins the lottery gets the number one pick out of those bottom 8 teams. I think that's a wholehearted fair deal. I wholeheartedly think that by giving the bottom 8 teams the lottery picks, it doesn't guarantee the worst team gets the number one pick. Because it doesn't mean that the number one player is going to go into a good situation. That's the whole thing that I feel like Caleb Williams' father is thinking about. He's not going to be in a good situation depending on the team that gets the number one pick. And I feel that. Like, if you think about it like this, if you had Patrick Mahomes actually go to Chicago, do you think Chicago would actually be good? I just want you guys to really think about it. Let's think about this for 1 second. If the Bears actually drafted Patrick Mahomes, would Patrick Mahomes be great like he is now, or would he be average until he went to a team that utilized him? We'll never know, thank God, but I think bad organizations creates good players that go to bad organizations become bad players. How about that? That's how I'm gonna look at it. I promise you that's how I'm gonna look at it. And you know what? I will take it a step farther. I will say this though. Majority good players that go to bad teams, bad organizations become bad players. Now there are organizations that's good, and sometimes the players that come in are just bad. I will say that. Like Jamarcus Russell, he was bad. He was terrible. But RG3 was terrific. He was great. But he was ruined by a bad organization in the Redskins. Marcus Mariota. To me, Marcus Mariota should be a starter somewhere. I don't know for who, but Marcus Mariota should still be a starter. And the fact that he's backing up Jalen Hurts, I don't know. Like, I believe in that situation, Marcus Mariota should be a starter. I'm sorry. I think Marcus Mariota is good enough to be a starter in this league. He's better than Daniel Jones. He's better than, I would go so far to say is, it's not a stretch. Marcus Mariota is better than at least, I would say, about 5 to 6 quarterbacks in the league at this time that are starters. Geno Smith was a backup for the longest until he found the right system that needed him to be the starter. He found a home in the Seahawks. The Seahawks believe in Geno. I believe in Geno. It's stuff like that you have to understand. Like, certain teams have starting quarterbacks that are not good. Geno is better than Daniel Jones. Marcus Mariota is better than Daniel Jones. He's better. They're better. Marcus Mariota should be a starter with either the Steelers. He's definitely better than Ryan Tannehill. I'm sorry. For Ryan Tannehill to replace Marcus Mariota as the starter is just a wild notion for me. But yeah, stuff like that. But anyways, I digress. I apologize. The NFL should adopt the lottery system because it's not fair that these good players that comes out of college has to go to these bad teams. And that's just it. That's just plain and simple. Here are the top 5 teams in the NFL. And not in this order, but these are the top 5 teams going into week 4. The Dolphins, the Eagles, the Chiefs, the 49ers, and the Bills. Those are the top 5 teams going into week 4. You can make an argument. You could have made an argument that the Cowboys should be in there. They're not. These 5 teams are going to be definitely playoff contenders. Now, here's what I will say about one of these teams. The Bills. The Bills, yes, they've blown their last 2 games out of the water. You hit it out the ballpark. But the Bills, they still have to contend with, first and foremost, the Dolphins. I believe that the Dolphins are better than the Bills within that division. But I believe that Bill Belichick is creeping up. I do believe that. I think Bill Belichick is creeping to that third, maybe second place spot. People need to be weary of the Patriots. Bill Belichick still has a card up his sleeve or two. So that's why I think the Bills need to be very careful. The 49ers and the Eagles are the best teams within the NFC. There's no questions about it. Brock Purdy and the offense and the defense there, and Jalen Hurts with the offense and the defense there. They are the best teams in the NFC. I don't expect anybody to really catch up to them. Yeah, they might lose maybe 1 to 2 games, but I do expect it to be a good showing. Like whoever beats these 2 teams needs it's either going to be a surprise game or whatever. But Brock Purdy is exceeding well beyond expectations. Jalen Hurts is just doing what Jalen Hurts does. The Eagles and the 49ers are the best teams in the NFC by far. Like, there's not really a lot of teams out. I mean, there are good teams in the NFC. Don't get me wrong. There's good teams, but they're far ahead. Like, they're going to be hard to catch and hard to beat. The Chiefs, we are seeing something completely different from the Chiefs. We are seeing the Chiefs. What would happen if Patrick Mahomes didn't have to bail out the defense? That's what we're seeing. That's what we're getting. That's exactly what we are getting. The defense, the Chiefs' defense, in 3 weeks, has only allowed 35 points, I believe. 35 points. Let me make sure my math is correct. It was 14 in the first game. Then it was 9 in the second game. So with that being said, I'm sorry. I do apologize. My math is wholeheartedly incorrect. 33 points. They've only allowed 33 points within the first 3 games of the season. I think that is monumental for the defense, for the Chiefs defense. They've usually come alive in the back end of, the season and stuff like that. But for them to start off hot and to look like the defense that Steve Spagnuolo has been spending his years trying to create, worked on, creating different things for them. I think it's going to be a very hard-pressed thing for the next couple of games for any team to really try to carve out points, try to get a lead on the Chiefs. If you don't get a lead on the Chiefs, you're probably going to lose. That's just we kept the Jaguars down to 3 field goals in week 2, and here it is week 3, and the Jaguars could only scrape up 17 points against a Texans team that scored 37. I think we leave a residual effect on the teams we play. That's why you have to be very careful on what you do with the Chiefs. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, those guys are going to carve you up if you don't plan correctly. But even if you do plan correctly, the Chiefs know how to divert that plan and make it something that's crazy. And my last take is the Dolphins. The Dolphins, I'm sorry. The Dolphins are playing perfect football. The Dolphins are a good team. They're going to be very hard to stop for anybody. If it's not a high-powered offense, high-powered defense, you're not going to stop the Dolphins from steamrolling past you. Tua is playing like an MVP quarterback, like I predicted in week 1, or in my first episode. I said Tua, if he stays unfazed, untouched, and healthy, Tua will go on to be an MVP quarterback this season. He can win the MVP. I promise you, Tua is good enough to win the MVP. Tyreek is having a good year as well, with that receiving. The crazy part is you dropped 70 points on the Broncos. You didn't even have Waddle. You didn't have him. You didn't have Waddle. You only had Tyreek Hill. You had your other receivers. You let your running do the running do the most talking, but it's still the fact of the matter is that 70 points. This might be one of the most dynamic Dolphins teams we've seen in years. I think this Dolphins is going to give the 16-0 Dolphins a run for their money. Like Tua, I believe Tua is so underrated that it's laughable. The fact that people expect Tua, it brings up the fact that Jalen replaced Tua and then Tua replaced Jalen and all that. The injury, yeah, of course. But Tua, to me, from what I've seen, Tua wasn't bad. But I think the Dolphins did what they needed to do to get him what he needed. Get him elevated to what he needs, and this is what you get. And Mike McDaniels, he's a coach, man. He's a good coach. And I'm glad he did what he did. I'm glad he put up that 70. Hell, I wish he would have done 73. Hell, he could have probably put up 77 if he wanted to. But you know what? I respect the man. The man is a genius. I think he was the offensive coordinator for the 49ers back when we played them in the Super Bowl. If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on that. But Mike McDaniels is a very good OC, and he's a very good coach. He's football minded. He's been around the league for years, and this is what it is. This is exactly, what you get when you snub a guy of your head coaching position to give it to, Nathaniel Hackett. Or whatever he wanted to do with it, I don't really care. But Mike McDaniels is showing he doesn't need that coaching job. He got the home, and he's going to keep, honestly, in the next couple of weeks, we'll know where the Dolphins are going to sit. Like I said, by week 5, after the week 5 play, and once I redo my list, I bet you going into week 10, week 15, every 5 weeks, we're going to see something different. But I think the Dolphins are going to be pretty consistent. Then we have the top 5 worst teams in the NFL. I was going to be 3, but then I thought of 2 other teams that I wanted to throw in this to make it 5. Here it is. Giants, Broncos, Bears, Jets, Titans. Now this one is organized I'll organize this one from the best worst team to the worst team. The best worst team is the Jets. The Jets, their issue is just a quarterback situation. They don't have enough faith in the quarterback. He's not doing well in the locker room. That's going to be the issue there. That issue trumps all, I believe, but they still have the better team. They have a good team. You have your receivers. You have Garrett Wilson. You have Alan Zillard. You got McCole Hardman. You got Dalvin Cook. You got Breece Hall. Sorry, I apologize. On the defensive side, you have Sauce Gardner. You have Quentin Williams. John Franklin Myers. You have the defense to do what you got to do. You got that number 3 guy who caught 3 picks in the first game. You got guys on that defense that are dangerous. So for you to be in a situation that you are, yes, this is why you're here. This is why this list is created. The Titans. Yeah, I said it. The Titans, yeah. You rely too much on Derrick Henry. Ryan Tannehill's not a good quarterback, and you overpaid for an older receiver. That's what you get. This is the karma you get. I'm sorry. D-Hop, I'm glad he didn't come to the Kansas City Chiefs because now he is going to reap what he sowed. He said he wanted to play for the best team that's going to give him a championship ring. And he chose the Tennessee Titans with Ryan Tannehill. It could be any other quarterback, but you chose Ryan Tannehill. I would have respected him for any other quarterback. But Ryan Tannehill is where you wanted to go. That's what you wanted to do, is Ryan Tannehill. I get it, Derrick Henry as your run game, but I think he only ran for like 20-something yards against the Browns. And the Browns' defense is good, but the Titans are bad. Like that. This is just where you are. This is where you placed on that list right now. And number 3, I got the Giants. Same situation. Bad quarterback. Daniel Jones overpaid. He had one good season, and you thought, this is a good idea. Let's go overpay him. Let's go overpay this man for having one breakout season. Sir, you have to have consecutive good seasons to even be considered getting paid. But we wanted to pay this man $40 million a year. Whatever you want to do. I don't care. Your team is bad. And it's going to continue to show, yes, you're going to win a game against other teams. Yes, you beat the Cardinals. It's the Cardinals. But the Cardinals are still the Cardinals are still looking better than you in your own division. I'm sorry. And especially after this last loss, I don't know. The Giants are just, they're not there. The Giants are not all there. They're going to have to figure something out. The second worst team in the NFL, or, the word number 4, you know what? I got to reverse that, whatever. But the second worst team in the NFL is the Bears. Same situation as the Jets, but they don't really have a defense. Most of their defense is kind of hurt. They don't have a really good offense. DJ Moore was a good acquisition. Can't catch a ball. Clay Chasepool was a good acquisition. Can't catch a ball. They don't run the ball. I don't know what to tell them. Like I can't really call it heads or tails. I won't blame it on Justin Fields, but he does have to take some of that blame for it. He has to take some of the slack. But I will say the coaching staff isn't really knowing what they're doing. They're going through a whole disarray of things that just happened within the last week. I believe their DC or something like that resigned. Another coach got arrested or had some police or whatever. It's just a horrible week for the Bears, man. And I don't know, in my opinion, I think it's the Jay Cutler curse. I think it's the Jay Cutler curse. Because that's the last time he was relevant. I don't know. Or it's the Patrick Mahomes curse. You told him you was going to draft him, and you drafted Mitch Trubisky, and now you can't get a win for nothing. You got, I think I believe Fields is 5-22 as a starter. That's horrible, man. Like it's just all bad. But it's not on him either. It's just whoever's part of that organization, the coaching staff, front office, all that. 5-22 in the last, whatever, man. That is crazy. It's an insane statistic. The worst team in the NFL right now is the Broncos. They're the worst team in the NFL, man. The Broncos are the worst team in the NFL right now. I don't know what to tell y'all. Like, I really don't. I don't think there's an argument there. These last 3 games have been painful to watch, man. The Broncos are the worst team in the NFL. Sean Payton and Russell Wilson paired together was supposed to be like magic made in heaven. But I think the problem is that Sean Payton is getting his karma for talking all that ish. You don't talk about a man who tried his best as the head coach, and the only reason why you're here is because you decided you want to come out of retirement and coach this team. This is what you get. You inherit bad habits and you inherited bad players. This team right here has the pieces to win, but they're going to fail because those pieces aren't utilized in the proper way. Russell Wilson is not looking like he's not looking like that Super Bowl caliber quarterback we're used to seeing. I'm sorry. Say what you want to say for the first 2 weeks, but this week is unacceptable. You allow them. You can't. I don't know. Like when Sean Payton went on that stage and said this is the worst coaching performance or the worst performance, I'm like, yeah. Nathaniel Hackett, you said that about too, but now you're part of history now. Because you're going to go down. I'm sorry. It's probably going to be another 20, 30 years before we see another 70-20 or 70, another 50-point lead. It's probably going to be another 20 to 30 years, 40 years before we see that ever again. And Sean Payton, you are the front center man of modern history, of modern football, to be on there, and you want to have some type of say. I'm sorry. I used to have a lot of respect for Sean Payton, especially what he did for the Saints, Drew Brees, all that. I have nothing now. I don't know what to call it. I'm sorry, sir. We have to point out these bad things. We got to point this out, and I'm gonna be the one that points it out. This was a bad week for Denver. It was already a bad week for Colorado because of the blowout in college, but then you just added salt to injury to get blown out like a college team. You just added more salt to injury. So I don't know. Like something's got to give for the Denver Broncos. Something's got to give, and it has to happen this week. It has to happen. It is what it is. Josh McDaniels. I didn't put the Raiders as the worst team on my list, but they're not good either. I don't know. Josh McDaniels needs to be fired. That's all I have to say on that part. Jordan, why? JT, why? Because he's not a good coach. It shows. I'm sorry. You got Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs. I will be running the ball one play, throwing the ball to Devontae Adams the next play. And if he's not open, I'm passing to everybody else. Josh McDaniels is not a good coach. The Raiders are not a good football organization. Look what's going on with Chandler Jones. That's a crazy situation right there. Josh McDaniels is not a good coach. It shows. Derek Carr has exposed it. Multiple people has exposed it. The Raiders are not the Raiders are in a bad situation. I don't know what to call it. I really don't know what to call it, but Josh McDaniels needs to be fired. The way his play calling is, the things he do, fire that man. Fire that man, and let's move on. If you're not going to fire anybody else, fire that man. Fire Josh McDaniels. Make sure he never gets another coaching job. I don't even want him to be the water boy. That's how bad I want him gone. Josh McDaniels needs to go. Last and not least of this piece when it comes to this, Andy Reid has jumped up to number 4 in all wins of coaching wins of all time. Andy Reid's something special, man. I've watched Andy Reid since I could watch football. I've seen him coach Donovan McNabb, Michael Vick, Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes. And guess what? At least 2 of them players are first ballot Hall of Famers. He's had great receivers. Jeremy Maclin, Sammy Watkins, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, LaShawn McCoy, running backs. Isaiah Pacheco is probably going to be a Hall of Famer. I'm just saying. Andy Reid's a good coach. Andy Reid deserves it, and I think he's on his way to being at least number 2 on that list, if not number 1 coach of all time. I really do think Andy Reid is that good of a coach. I think the Chiefs are going to be that good of a dynasty to keep on going with the wins. I don't think the Chiefs are going to, until Andy Reid leaves or whatever, I think the Chiefs are going to continue being what the Patriots was back in the day. Dominant. It is what it is. They're going to continue getting dominant pieces. As long as Brett Veach does what he needs to do, Andy Reid's going to continue doing what he needs to do. And that's just it. That is it. That is all on that one. I'm going into the NBA now real quick. I just want to slide into the NBA. There hasn't been really a lot of headlines about the NBA that I really need to speak on and stuff like that. The NBA is not back yet, but then this happened yesterday. Damian Lillard is now a Milwaukee Buck. What the hell? Who was cooking over there? I don't know how to feel about this trade. Everyone has mixed feelings about it. I do too. On one hand of my mixed feelings, I'm thinking, well, shit. Excuse my language. I'm thinking, Giannis finally got some help. Giannis got the point guard he needs. But at what cost? Because I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. This is a weird feeling. Damian Lillard, the most loyal guy in the NBA, finally said he's had enough. He went over to the Milwaukee Bucks. But Giannis is also being disillusioned. He wants out of the Milwaukee Bucks. and he might not re-sign with the Milwaukee Bucks or whatever is about to happen. But then he gets help. Maybe this is going to be a good thing. Maybe it's going to be a bad thing. I don't know. I don't think this is going to be a situation like last year where Luka and Kyrie teamed up. I think this is going to be more of a situation where this pairing is actually going to be less toxic, less stressful. But now you also gave up like Drew Holiday and a couple other guys that's going over to Phoenix, and that's being split up between Phoenix and Portland. Portland is in complete disarray right now. I know Portland is just Portland. I don't know. Portland might be on fire right now. I don't know. Anybody an Oregon fan? Anybody Portland, Oregon? On one hand, you did win on Saturday. But on the other hand, you lost too. So I mean, it's a bad time to be in Portland right now. I know the city's burning. Dame gone. Y'all lost Nurkic, whatever his name is, Joseph. Lost him to the Suns. I don't even know if the Suns got better. I really don't. I don't think the Suns got better either, but maybe. I don't know. I just know that this is a crazy trade. I know this news right here has to be one of the craziest things I've seen in a long time in the NBA. And I don't know. This is bigger than Durant going to the Suns to me. This is bigger than AD going to the Lakers. This is bigger than that. I think with Damian Lillard finally saying F it and going to the Bucks, this changes the dynamic of power now. The West used to be one of the strongest. The West used to be one of the strongest conferences. Now, I don't know. That's a lot of talent over in the East now. Well, mainly one team. But I think if no injuries, no BS, the Bucks they have a clear, smooth path to the finals, man. I think the Bucks got it. They gotta have it, So we'll see going into next year's going into next year. Count my pick as the Bucks and put me down for Bucks and Boston for Eastern Conference Finals. Put me down for that. I'll let you know how I feel about Western Conferences when we start the season. I'll let you know how I feel. And then there's one other thing about the NBA that actually happened as well that I've read up on in the last couple of days. The NBA has made it to where two things has happened. No one star, so no multiple star players. So like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard is the best ones I can come up with. Can miss games together. It got to be one or the other. They're trying to get rid of that load management BS. And yes, load management is a bunch of BS. Because think about it like this. In the 2000s, did you see Allen Iverson have load management? Did you see Kobe, Steve Nash, Shaq, Dwayne Wade? Did you see them have load management? When the hell did we start doing this load management BS, man? Like this, what's load management? Oh, I'm too tired. I got a little cramp in my leg from traveling and everything. It's your job. You get paid millions of dollars to do it. You better suck it up. Man, Kobe was wrapped up from head to toe going out there, battling it out with the younger players for, 20 years? Man, don't give me that. Like, I don't like that. I'm sorry. That load management crap doesn't get me. Oh, but they get tired and everything. Shit, I'm tired of working a 9 to 5. You think I get it? You think I get load management? They doing something. I don't. This is my thing about the NBA now. The NBA is not with guys that's. The NBA does not have a lot of guys that care about basketball. Yeah, I said it. I don't think a lot of guys in the NBA care about basketball. They care about the perks that comes with playing basketball, but they don't care about the actual game itself. They don't care about being competitive. I think the NBA has lost a lot of its competitiveness, whatever the word is. Sorry, I can't talk today. I'm tired. But I think the NBA is not what it used to be. You got guys bitching and moaning because a finger got dislocated? Man, Kobe popped a finger back into his socket and went back out there to play. Kobe shot a free throw on a torn Achilles heel. Michael Jordan played through a flu. A flu. If we're going to compare errors, that's what we need to compare to. Weak links. And I'm sorry. You know what? I wasn't going to go on a tangent about the NBA today, but this is my last thing about it. I'm tired of these star players. I get it. You need help. I understand that. I understand that completely. But why KD, for example? KD. Let's take KD. KD is a good player, but he's not great. Yeah, I said it. KD's not a great player. And the reason why I say that is, this is why I say KD's not a great player. KD won 2 championship rings with the Warriors. What does he have to show for it after the fact? You went to go start your own super team in Brooklyn. That didn't go well. Now you're in Phoenix. You guys got kicked out the playoffs. What is there to show for KD's success to show that he's a great player, other than the fact that he went to a Warriors team that already went 73-9? Nothing. That's the thing. I think that's the, you want to flip flop. You want to go to the East. You want to go to the West. Whatever. I don't know. Like players like that. To me, KD's not in it for the game. I don't know. Like, it doesn't seem like that. There's a lot of players out there that's like, oh, I'm not here for rings or whatever. Yeah, we know. We can tell. You settle with teams like Houston, or you settle with teams like the Pelicans now. And the Pelicans, no, you know what? No, not the Pelicans. I'm sorry. You settle with teams. Actually, yeah, there's not really a lot of bad teams out there. There's good teams. There's a lot of good teams this year, I will say. You settle with teams like, I don't know, like Detroit, Charlotte. I don't know. Like, those are the teams you guys, like, I don't know. I saw, I think I'm rambling now, but I don't know. Like, I really just don't like how the NBA has progressed. I think it progressed in the wrong way. Yes, we love seeing our star players and whatever, but it's all a spectacle now. Like, this isn't, it's not something where the game is on the line. It's more like, well, yay or nay. And it shows. You really do have guys out there that's not playing for the love of basketball. They're playing because, well, it's an easy paycheck and I'm good, so I might as well get it. But I want to do other things. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's just my opinion. It is what it is. But I digress. Let's get back into it. But yeah, that's the NBA news for today. And to end the show, we're going to do our weekly predictions for the NFL week, because we're going to be back Tuesday with some more updates. But as right now, this is what I got for week 4. Week 4 predictions. Tonight, Thursday night football, we have the Packers and the Lions playing. I got the Lions taking that by a landslide. Going on to Sunday morning, because the Jaguars and the Falcons are in London, I believe, playing. I got the Jaguars taking that, coming back, taking that game. Then we got Colts and Rams. Colts, I think, would be a good pick. Ravens and Browns. This is going to be a good one. That Browns defense has been doing some good things, but I don't believe in Deshaun Watson, so I'm giving it to the Ravens. Then we have the Panthers and Vikings. They both need a win, and I'm giving it to the Vikings. I think the Vikings are going to just blow them out the water. And I won't say that, because last time I said that, I lost that bet. I think the Vikings are going to do good, though. Vikings need to just win. Then you got the Bengals and the Titans. I'm giving this to the Bengals. I don't believe in Ryan Tannehill, wholeheartedly. Then we got the Bucks and the Saints. I don't know if Derek Carr is going to be back for this game. I know he got really seriously injured. Not as serious as we thought, but I don't think he's going to be. I think he's going to be out for this game. And I do got the Bucks making a bouncing back. Baker Mayfield has been playing pretty decently in the last couple of weeks. This is a division game as well, so I think the Bucks are going to take this. Then we have one of the biggest games of the week, the Dolphins and the Bills. I gave it to the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins wins. It's going to be a very close game. But remember, the Bills have already dropped one division game. If they drop this one, Ooh, my two early playoff predictions are coming, and the Bills, if they drop this game, I don't know what's gonna happen, but let's take a look. I still got Dolphins taking this. Then we got the Broncos and Bears. One of the most boring games of the week. It's gonna be a very boring game. I got the Broncos winning though. I hope. Commanders and Eagles. I gave it to the Eagles, but I do know the Commanders can possibly pull it out because they did it last year. So the Eagles need to be very careful of a trap game. Then we got the Steelers and Texans. I'm giving it to the Texans. CJ Stroud is that guy, and I'm giving it to him. I think the Texans are finding their stride, and I think that's going to continue on to the next week. Chargers and Raiders. Giving it to the Chargers. Both of those coaches actually should be fired, but Josh McDaniels needs to go. 49ers and Cardinals. 49ers. I don't think the Cardinals, yes, you can beat the Cowboys, but I'm not thinking you're not beating the 49ers, Cardinals. We got the Cowboys and Patriots. Cowboy fans, you're going to hate me. I'm giving this to the Patriots. I think Bill Belichick got something up that sleeve. I don't know. But after the way Dak played, put some pressure on him, the defense is what's going to save them, but I'm still giving this to the Patriots. I think the Patriots pull it out by a couple points. Then we got the Chiefs and the Jets. It's the Chiefs. It's the Chiefs. I'm sorry. The Chiefs are winning that game. But the Jets are going to be they're going to come in fighting. I will say that. Not offensively, well, the run game, yes. But as far as the defense goes, and I personally know John Franklin Myers from high school, I do know that edge rush is going to really depend on how they're going to do things. Juwan Taylor has been getting very targeted about his positioning, and I know that John Franklin Myers lines up on that side of the ball. So I'm hoping Patrick Mahomes doesn't get sacked a lot, but they're going to have to watch out for that. Quinnen Williams is very good as well up front. So you're going to have to put somebody or double team him to make sure you create space. Then we got the Seahawks and the Giants. I don't even want to talk about the Giants. Fire Dan Jones. Seahawks winning that game. Seahawks winning. That's just it. But that's it. That's all I got for you guys today. I think my week 4 predictions are pretty good. The last predictions for week 3, I've improved to 11 and 16. I'm improving one game at a time. That means I'm pretty good at this. I'm very good at this. So that means, and this is the week to bet. I told everybody to wait till week 4 to start betting. So if you take my predictions and start making parlays, remember who got you there. Go ahead and donate to the channel. Go ahead and like and follow. But you know what? Thank you guys. Thank you for the audience that I've created. Thank you for the subscribers I've gotten and everything. I hope to grow this channel. I know it's going to take a lot of work to grow. But with that being said, let's keep going. Let's keep grinding and everything. And I cannot wait for the next week. Can't wait to see you guys on Tuesday, probably Wednesday, maybe too, depending on if there's any news I need to add into the flow of things. But I cannot wait to talk to you guys again about what's going on with the NFL season and what's going on with the NBA season. Stay blessed out there. Swarm, let's go Swarm. Safe travels to my teammates as I go to Minnesota. And thank you guys again. And overtime, we out.